Welcome again to the conclusion of our amazing talk series. How did we get here? If you're being blessed by this series, can you clap your hands? Because if you realize that we just learned so much about a not so popular part of the Bible, the exile. But we're discovering that it's packed with so much significance and relevance, especially for this last talk titled Already But Not Yet. By the way, for those of you who come for the first time, don't worry. Every talk is a standalone talk, siguradong may mensahe sa inyong Panginoong Diyos. Pero dun sa mga talagang sinundan ito, grabe, ang dami nating natutunan at may apply natin sa nangyayari ngayon. In fact, Brother Oli's presentation of the Word was the mission statement of Jesus. Everybody say mission statement.
Mission statement.
Bakit biglang nandun tayo sa mission statement ni Lord, pinag-uusapan natin yung exile? Let me give you the background. Remember that all throughout the Old Testament, the exiles were praying for a Messiah. Pero ang idea nila ng Messiah, ng tagapagligtas, is a new king who will rescue them from slavery, free them from their foreign overlords, and bring them home to the promised land. And guess what? God answered that prayer, eventually, ultimately, by sending His Son, Jesus. Pero ngayon, naiintindihan na natin ngayon kung bakit nung dumating na si Jesus, parang nalito at na-frustrate yung mga tao. Bakit? Kasi ang iniintay nilang Mesiyas, yung magliligtas sa kanila, lalaban. Much like the warrior King David or Joshua, who really fought for God's people and conquered the promised land. In fact, Joshua is a namesake of Jesus, Yeshua. Kaya nga, yung mga na-frustrate kay Jesus na akala nila siya yung lalaban sa mga conquerors, sa mga Romano, hindi yung mga sumigaw na ipako siya sa krus. Yan yung maaalala natin ulit next week sa Holy Week. Why? Because Jesus came, but He didn't fight the Babylonians or the Greeks or the Persians or the Romans during His time. Because Jesus defeated bigger enemies. Ano yung talagang tunay na kalaban na nilupig ni Jesus? Sin, evil, death. And they would realize that later, much later on, na yun pala ang tunay na tinalo ng Panginoong Jesus. So, let's review again the mission statement of Jesus from Luke 4:18 to 19 of the NIV version. Can you read again, please? The Spirit
of the Lord is on me, because He has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind, and to set the oppressed free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor.
Now, many of us, hanggang ngayon, would interpret that literally, and for good reasons. Because Luke is also known to be the gospel of the poor, of the marginalized, of the powerless. Kaya pwede talagang sa mga nahihirap, materially, o sa mga nakakulong, o sa mga naaapi. But actually, Jesus was describing our human situation perfectly. And until now, after all, we're really all poor. Lalo na ngayon, isang daang mahigit na litro ng gasolina, talagang biglang umiram tayo bigla. Pero not just poor materially, we're poor in spirit. We're still imprisoned. Hindi tayo makakapreso, pero marami pa rin mga chains that bind us. We're blind. Maybe not physically again, but until now, many people are blinded to what Jesus really did save us for. Saan ba tayo talagang niligtas ng Panginoong Jesus? And we're still oppressed, again, by corruption, by sin, by evil. And think about this. To rescue us from our exile, Jesus had to become an exile too. Na-exile din siya because he came from heaven. And he was born to our planet Earth to enter our dark world and to bring us home from our Babylon. Anong ginawa ng Panginoong Jesus? Tanong sa akin, ano?
Ano?
Mahalaga ito, ha? Sinundo niya tayo. Sinundo niya tayo eh. Again, He walked in our dark world so that He can hold us by the hand at dalhin tayo sa ating tunay na tahanan. But here's the question. Babalikan ko yung sundo-sundo mamaya and that's where I will end this. Pero eto muna yung tanong. Are we home now? Kasi tulad ng mga exiles, di ba nakabalik na sila sa Jerusalem? Pero, yun yung sinasabi ni Brother Odi eh. Already but not yet. Already home pero hindi pala. Eh tayo ngayon, are we at home now in this world? Lalo na ngayon, parang walang nabago since the time of the exile. Gera pa rin. At literal na may gera na ngayon. May kahirapan pa rin. Again, due to man's greed and corruption, may mga sakit pa rin. So, saan tayo nakauwi? Saan tayo lumaya? Well, the answer is, we're still in Babylon. Ayan yung parallelism eh. We're still in exile. In fact, 1 Peter 2:11 says that we are foreigners and exiles. And we hear that always eh, na tayo ay pilgrims. Tayo ay nagdadaan lang dito sa lupa, dito sa buhay na ito. Why? Because Paul reminds us, our citizenship is in heaven. Sabi mo sa katabi mo, tagalangit ka talaga. Sabi mo sa kanya, magkita tayo doon. Huwag mo na lang ngayon. Pero eto ngayon ito. Ito maraming dinadala ito sa extreme. Ito yung susunod na tanong. So, if we're here in Babylon now, ito ang Babylon natin yan. Ito ang exile place. What do we do? Do we just die? Wait to die so we can go to heaven? Wait. Maraming mga yung mga hyper-spirituality na sinasabing itong buhay na ito, walang kwenta. Itong daigdig na ito ay wala ng pag-asa. Kaya ang hantayin lang natin ay kunin na tayo ngayon. Nagmamadali. Pero kung walang kwenta itong buhay na ito at walang pag-asa ang mundo, pero bakit tayo nandito? The Lord must have put us here for a reason. Kaya yes, Babylon is all around us with all of this corruption and sin and war and disease. In fact, yung karanasan ng mga exiles noong nakabalik na sila, if you're following the story again, they were exiled for 70 years in Babylon. They were taken away from their land, from their country, Israel. Pero nung nakabalik na sila in 537 BC, na-frustrate sila. Dahil pagbalik nila, ito yung mga bumungad sa kanila. Pagbalik nila sa Jerusalem, it was all bad news. They found that their beloved city was in total disrepair. Rinansak yun eh. Ng mga Babylonians, sinunog, inubos. Kaya kahit na 70 years ang nakalipas, bagsak na bagsak yung kanilang bayan. And they saw their walls broken, their gates burned, and their temple reduced to ruins. They were now a tiny province under the Persian Empire. So yun yung napag-aralan natin. Lumaya na sila sa isang mananakop, Babylonians, pero pag-uwi nila, under Persian rule naman sila. Change of management lang. They were still surrounded by hostile neighbors. And even when they rebuilt their temple after many years, what they built was a poorer, smaller version of the original one. Yan yung natutunan naman natin sa ating mga powerful youth preachers last Sunday. Diba kasi, ang simbolo nila, yung templo nila, nawala na yung former glory. And they still saw injustice reigning over their country and their land. Alam nyo, parang yun yung feeling ng mga, alam niyo mga OFW, na nagtagal na ng mga 10 years, 20 years, 30 years sa ibang bansa. Di ba? Tapos pag bumabalik sila dito after so many years, nakauwi na sila parang iba na. Di ba? Parang hindi na ito yung bayan ko. O kaya nasubukan yung mag-reunion sa school nyo. Tapos after 30 years, 40 years na, pagdating nyo, hinahanap nyo yung classroom nyo, hinahanap nyo yung mga teachers nyo. Tapos ay patay na. Yung classroom ko, ay hindi na. Parang nakabalik ka, pero iba na. Nabago na. And for some reasons, a part of you gets lost. Di ba? Parang hindi na ito yung bayan ko. O pag nauuwi ka naman sa probinsya, halimbawa, pwede din nabago na, o pwede walang nabago. Di ba? May mga umuwi sa probinsya after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Ganun pa rin. Ha? Walang naging pagbabago. O baka nag-deteriorate na. Bago lang yung mga mayor, yung mga kapital, o ganun. Bakit? Ganun pa rin ang kalakaran. May corruption pa rin. May problema pa rin. At yung mga bahay dito, dati ng pangit, pumangit pa, di ba? Kaya, sana hindi na ako umuwi. Balik na lang ako sa amin. Uy, alam mo ba? Natitigil ko ito yung kwento ito, ha? Marami tayo mga kababayan sa Middle East. Talagang gusto nang makauwi at nakauwi na nga. Pero hindi ako makakalinig na. Sana hindi na lang ako umuwi. Kahit nanonood kami ng mga tirahan ng mga missile doon, kaya tayo score yung sweldo namin doon, di ba? Eh dito, pag-uwi namin, nanapahin, di ba? May mga ganun ha, konti lang. Pero anong sinasabi natin? It's still the same experience of going back home, and yet it doesn't feel like home. In fact, the depressing situation of the exiles then went on for centuries. Umulit-ulit lang yun eh. Because the Buddhists just changed faces. Oh, doesn't that sound familiar? That we went to Spanish rule, and then the American rule, and Japanese rule, and something that were just changing management, but we're still in the same situation. Until we realize that Babylon is not a geographical place. Hindi yung lugar eh, yung sistema. When there's a system of pride and self-centeredness, of corruption and greed, it's Babylon all over again. In fact, the world has become a dysfunctional Babylon system. So ito ngayon yung tanong. So ano gagawin natin kung kahit saan pala tayo magpunta, ganun din. Noon at ngayon, ganun din. So magmadali na lang tayong mamatay lahat o maghintay tayo na mag-end of the world na, tulad ng mga excited na matatapos ang mundo para mabago na ulit. Ganun ba? Oh, let's read 1 Peter 2:11-12. Ano ang gagawin natin habang naghihintay o magmamadali na ba tayo na tapusin ang buhay ng mundo ito? Read. Dear friends, I urge you as foreigners and exiles. Tayo na yun ha? Hindi na ito yung mga Israelites. 1, to abstain from sinful desires. May ginagawa ang mga exiles tulad natin. Tanong nyo ano?
Ano?
Ang unang ginagawa niya, purification. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Whether it's an actual exile o yung personal exile mo na dumaan ka sa madilim na pagsubok, may nangyayari dyan. Kaya pinapayagan yan. Doon ka nagpapurify. Doon nagiging klaro anong mga pagkukulang, anong mga dapat gawin. Pag ikaw nababangka, pag ikaw nagkakasakit, doon mo nalalaman, makakasimali ang pag-handle ko ng pera, nakakasilabuso ko katawan ko. So ito yung panawagan. While you're in your exile, you start reflecting on your life. Live such good lives. Ito na yung hamon ngayon ng panyaya. Live good lives among the pagans. Live good lives while you're in exile, that they may see your good deeds. Everybody say, live good lives.
Live good lives.
Do good deeds.
Do good deeds.
Oh, so habang pala tayo naghihintay sa exile na ito, kailangan mamuhay tayo ng tuwid so that we may glorify God on the day that He visits us, on the day na tayo sunduin niya. So may ginagawa tayo. Because here now is the heart of this talk. You've heard it a while ago. We're living both in Babylon and in God's house. Ha? Sabay. Sabay yun. Because God is transforming our Babylon into His home. Oh, maybe you didn't realize that. I'm gonna say that again. Ito ang ating exile. Ito ang ating Babylon. But God is transforming this here and now into His home, into His house. It's still under construction. But we're part of this construction. Alam niyo, parang ganito uli yan. Parang relevant. Marami naman iniisip na wala ng pag-asa ito. Kaya na ito. Mabuti ba? Abroad na lang ako. Mabuti ba? Doon na lang ako. So, we're not condemning that. We're not saying that's wrong. Pero ano kaya kung isipin natin na teka, kahit saan ako pumunta ngayon, talaga may problema. Amerika, Middle East, o kahit saan, talagang, ano kaya kung ang tawag sa iyo ay manatili ka kung nasaan ka? Manali ka na may ginagawa ang Diyos dyan, at maging bahagi ka ng solusyon dyan. Imbis na takasan mo yung problema, kahit nga sa pamilya mo eh. Pag sinabi mong gulo-gulo na itong pamilyang ito, wala nang kwenta ito, aalis na ako. Yun ba ang sagot? O ang sagot ay kung magulo ang pamilya, maging bahagi ka ng solusyon na maayos yung pamilya.
Yes.
Dahil kapag nakita mo magulo yan, kapatid, lugar yan. Pero kung magulo ang isip mo, kahit saan ka pumunta, kahit kumano ka ng bagong pamilya, pero dala mo pa rin yung Babylon sa utak mo, gugulo din yun.
Tama.
Baka kasi yung gulo, ikaw pala may dala. Am I making sense?
Yes.
And then you trust that wherever you are, whether in Babylon, in the time of the Israelites, or here and now, God's home will one day be completed. Maghintay ka lang na may ginagawa. Uulitin ko, God's home is in heaven, but it's starting here and now. Revelation 21:2-23. I saw the holy city, the New Jerusalem. Everybody say New Jerusalem.
New Jerusalem.
Eto yan eh. We are now living in the New Jerusalem. It's coming down. Everybody say coming down.
Coming down.
Pinababa ng Diyos ang langit. Out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride, beautiful dress for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, look, God's dwelling place is now among the people. Ibinababa ng Diyos, and He will dwell with them, and they will be His people, and God Himself will be with them and be their God. What's happening here? What's happening here? The Bible begins with God and humanity together in the garden. Remember that? That's why you keep on hearing that in our talks, that you always go back to Genesis. You always back to the garden. Because in the end, God is recreating the garden here and now in full communion with humanity. God doesn't give up on what He made in Genesis 1. He is completing it faithfully again. Kaya ito yung mantra natin. Meanwhile, ito pa rin ba ang ating sinasabi? Kasi lungkot, ang hirap. Pero magiging masaya ako pag bumaba na ulit yung presyo ng gasolina. O pag natapos na yung gera. O pag na-approve na ako, maka-approve na ako. O makapromote. O kaya makapag-asawa na ako ng mayaman para matapos na ito lahat. Diba? Okay naman yan. Valid naman yung mga pangarap na yan. Pero may delikado lang dyan sa mga I'll be happy when. Tanong yung ano?
Ano?
Paano pag di dumating? Paano kung di ka na maka-upload? Paano kung di ka makahanap ng asawang mayaman? Wapo lang. Paano kung di ka ma-promote? And it's possible, right? So buong buhay mo, di ka masaya. Kasi hindi dumating yung hinihintay mo. And this is one reality that we have to face. some of our dreams may not be fulfilled here on earth. They will be fulfilled in heaven. And the question is, are you okay with that? So you want to change your mantra from I'll be happy when to I'm happy now, period. If it will come, amen. If it doesn't, amen pa rin. Remember Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, kaya tuloy-tuloy yan. God will save us, but if He doesn't, we will still serve Him. We will still be happy. Hey, we sang this when we were kids. Hindi ko alam, baka kami lang. Pero naalala nito, the time to
Be
be
happy is now. The place to be happy is here.
For the way to be happy is to make others happy and to bring a little heaven down here.
Yes.
Kaya sabi nila, everything you needed to know, you should have learned in kindergarten. Sinabi na sa atin nun yan eh. And trust that you're living both in Babylon and in God's house now. And God is transforming your Babylon into His house. Two, God's house is still under construction. You wait. And above all, you just don't wait. You're part of God's construction team. You bring a little heaven down here and bring happiness to people and to yourself. And finally, one day, God's house will be completed. Matatapos rin ito. Ang huling salita nito, tagumpay ng Diyos para sa ating lahat. Kaya itong gawin ko. Pagpasundo ka rin. Kayo naman iniisip na malaki patayin. Pasundo ka outside of your negative mentality, of your helplessness and hopelessness. Pagpasundo ka mula sa Holy Week na next week. At tatapusin natin itong talk na ito sa little illustration na ito. Kasi ito mga tanong saan ba ako niligtas ni Jesus? Bakit hanggang ngayon? Tapos may sinabi pa sa Brother Oldie na sinabi ni Gerardus Vos na already redeemed but not yet. Ano ba ibig sabihin? Already home but not yet. Pakita ko po sa inyo ito, ha? Watch. Lahat kasi tayo nasa preso. Can you all stand for you to see this? Lahat tayo ay nakakulong. Nakakulong sa ating mga maling pag-unawa ng pagligtas sa atin ng Diyos. Kaya naghihintay tayo ng manalo sa loto. Di ba? Naghihintay tayo ng ilabas na yung props. Kanina pa. Bayan sa mga. Lahat tayo nakakulong. Nakalak pa. Walang kung lock ito, Louis Vuitton na ba? At minsan feeling natin, desperado na tayo, hindi na tayo makakalaya. Pero anong ginawa ng Panginoong Jesus? What did Jesus do? He came. He came with the key. Actually, He is the key. Binuksan na niya yung kandado. At bilisan mo na overtime na tayo. Binuksan na niya yung rehas. Malaya ka. Hindi pa, mamaya pa yan. Totok pa. Bukas na ang rehas. Malaya ka na. Pero may kailangan kang gawin. Listen. Siya ang nagbukas. Pero kailangan lumabas ka. Kumilos ka. Pero may mga tao ayaw nilang lumabas kahit bukas na ang pintuan ng rehas, bakit ayaw lumabas? Tanong niyo sa akin bakit?
Bakit?
Una,
Nasaan?
hindi sila makapaniwala na sa laki ng kasalanan nila ay palalayain sila ng ganun-ganun lang. We just can't fathom and comprehend the meaning of grace. Na talagang niligtas ka na, tapos na, malaya ka na. But we still keep on beating our breast. And pangalawa, ayaw natin lumabas. Namahay na tayo sa preso. Komportable na tayo doon. Pero itong gagawin ni Jesus. Binuksan na niya. Sayang, ayaw mong lumabas. Alam niyo kung anong gagawin niya? Papasukin na yung preso. Yun, ngayon pa lang. Papasukin na yung preso. Susunduin ka niya kung ayaw mong lumabas. Kakaibiganin ka niya. Inasok niya ang madilim na preso para palabasin ka. Samahan kang lumabas. Pero hindi pa natatapos yan. Listen to this. Ganito nangyari sa mga exiles eh. You can take the man out of Babylon. You can take the man out of prison. But Babylon might be still in his mind and in his heart. The prison is still here. Bakit? Sa una, lumaya na ako. Malaya na. Nakalabas na ako. Pero teka, nasa na yung mga nagpakulong sa akin? Papalikan ko yung mga walang iyang yun. Gagantihan ko. At hinanap mo. At nung nakita mo, binugbog mo, baka pinatay mo pa. Naku! Bumalik ka sa Babylon sa iyong isip. Pag ganyan ang nangyari nga, nakalaya ka nga, pero patay ka. Uhulihin ka ulit. Uulit-ulit ito. At ibabalik ka sa kulungan. Kaya yan ang kwento natin eh. Lumaya na tayo, pero pabalik-balik tayo dahil dala-dala pa rin natin yung utak preso. Are you following? Yes. Pero si Jesus, hindi magsasawang balikan ka upang muling buksan ang iyong preso at upang pasukin ka muli sa iyong pagkakalog mo at sabihin, malaya ka na, lumabas na tayo. And one day, madidiscover mo na ang unang paglaya ay hindi sa lugar. Ang unang paglaya ay sa isip at sa puso kasama ni Jesus. Kaya kahit nandito ka pa sa loob, malaya ka na. Pero hindi papayag si Jesus na dito. Dadalhin ka niya sa tunay mong kalagayan, sa tunay mong tahanan. At madidiscover mo, ang iyong bagong bahay ay ang iyong bagong buhay. Kasama si Jesus. Jesus is your new home. And someday, He will complete this home. In Jesus' name. Brother Nelson and Brother Christian, as I invite you now to come before the Lord, let's worship Him. And right here and now, let us all be home.